Inner Lion Media.
I bow to the one who is swifter than the mind and the wind, to the one who has controlled all of his senses, the one who is the epitome of learning and wisdom. Salutations to the son of the god of air and the chief of the Vinaras. I pray to the messenger of Lord Hanuman.
One of the mandates here as seekers of pure, unbiased spiritual truth is to introduce, and in some cases reintroduce, people of all generations to the inspirational, classical, spiritual literature of the ages. The following audiobook falls into that very select and important category. Here you will find ageless wisdom, timeless truisms, and unbounded inspiration from ancient Hindu texts such as the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Upanishads, and so many more from the voluminous Vedas of ancient India. We too examine the deepest truths of the Torah, the Christian scriptures, as well as the Quran, Tao Te Ching, the teachings of Confucius, Gautama Buddha, and even the great Zoroaster. Likewise, we contemplate the wisdom of contemporary teachers such as Meher Baba, Paramahansa Yogananda, Vivekananda, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, as well as Kihil Gibran, Swami Sachit Ananda, Baba Ramdas, and Terence McKenna, to name only a very few. Here we cast the net wide to include the humble parables of Jesus, the Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, as well as legendary life-changing eternal avatars such as Sri Krishna, Lord Rama, Vishnu, Shiva, and the Buddha, to include the greatest insights of the ever-expanding spiritual universe. As a now old incredible string band song goes, may the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. For Inner Lion Media, I'm Jagannatha Das.
Next, the beloved American spiritual teacher and devotee of Neem Karoli Baba, Ram Das, reflects upon the divinity of Hanumanji.
Hanuman is a symbol of the path of service. Now, some people follow the path of meditation. Some people follow the path of wisdom, Gyan Yoga, path of energy, Hatha Yoga. And Hanuman follows the path of service to fellow beings, and service to God. My name, Ram Das. Das is service, servant of Ram. I'm part of the Hanuman stream. And my guru, Neem Karoli Baba. Some people thought that he was Hanuman. And they looked at him as Hanuman.
There are so many stories about what Ram and Hanuman talked about. One of them is some Ramakrishna. Ram said, "What kind of a monkey are you?" And Hanuman said, when I don't know who I am, I serve you. When I know who I am you. Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. And then there's Ram sitting on a rock, and he invites Hanuman up next to him on the rock. And now Hanuman, he wants to stay here on the grass because he wants to worship Ram. That's the worship of bhakti. I remember that Raghu reminded us when he said, "Save me from the tentacles of ego." Boy, oh boy, wouldn't you like to be that? I would next year, you all be saved from the tentacles of egoism. Yeah. Then you'll realize Hanuman in your heart.
is Hanuman. There lived on Mount Sumeru a powerful Vanara leader named Kisari. His wife, Anjana, was beautiful beyond compare. One day, Vayu, the wind god, saw her standing alone, and he desired union with her. After uniting with her in his mystical yoga form, she conceived a child who was named Hanuman. He cried out in hunger, and Anjana placed him down amidst some reeds while she went to collect some forest fruits. Hanuman looked up from where he lay and saw the sun. Thinking it to be a large fruit, he sprang upwards with outstretched hands. Gifted with the power of his divine father, he soared through the heavens towards the sun. Vayu went with him, covering him with a cool breeze so that he would not be burned by the sun. Vivasvan, the sun god, also withheld his blazing rays as he understood that Hanuman was a great servant of Vishnu who would later assist him on earth. As Hanuman went swiftly through the skies, a demon named Rahu was also approaching the sun with a view to envelop him. It was the day ordained for that demon to swallow the fiery sun god, thus creating an eclipse, but Hanuman saw him and pushed him aside. Afraid of the mighty Vanara, Rahu sped away towards Indra's abode in heaven. Going before the deity, he said, "O king of the gods, having allotted to me the sun and moon as my regular food, how is it that you have now given over my share to another? See how another Rahu has appeared in the sky, intent upon consuming the sun." Lord Indra immediately left his seat, and mounting his celestial elephant, he rose up into the heavens. He approached Hanuman, who was streaking through the sky like a blazing meteor. When the Vanara saw the effulgent god nearby, he considered him to be just another fruit, and he turned towards him. Indra then released his thunderbolt, which struck Hanuman and caused him to drop down to earth. The Vanara fell into a mountaintop and lay there apparently dead. Seeing this, Vayu became angry, and he caused all creatures to begin to suffocate. Interrupting the flow of the vital life airs in all beings, Vayu created a great disturbance in the universe. Indra and all the other gods quickly approached Vayu, who stood by the fallen Hanuman, and prayed to him to desist from causing so much suffering. Brahma also appeared and asked Vayu the cause of his actions. Vayu replied, "It is on account of my son being slain. See now how that innocent child lays here motionless, struck down by Indra's terrible thunderbolt." Lord Brahma then reached out and ran his hand over Hanuman. The Vanara immediately sat up and looked around. The much relieved Vayu again began to move in the bodies of living creatures, and Lord Brahma said, "Listen, O gods, as I tell you all about this Vanara. He will accomplish your purpose on earth and become a famous servant of Vishnu. You should therefore all grant him your boon." Pleased to hear Brahma's words, Indra took off his garland and placed it around Hanuman's neck, saying, "From this day, you shall be invulnerable to my thunderbolt." Then the sun god said, "I shall bestow upon him 100th of my brilliance, and when he begins to study the scriptures, I shall enable him to quickly learn all aspects of knowledge. None shall exceed him in scriptural understanding." Yamaraj granted him invulnerability and freedom from ailment. Kuvira also blessed him to remain unwearied in battle. Shiva said, "He shall be immune to my weapons and from death at my hands." Vishwakarma added, "This Vanara shall be invulnerable to all celestial weapons forged by me, and he shall be long-lived." Finally, Brahma said, "O winged god, your son shall be invincible in battle. He will prove the terror of his foes and the shelter to his friends." This jewel among monkeys shall be able to change his form at will and go wherever he pleases at any speed he likes. No Brahmin's curse will be able to kill him. His movements shall be unimpeded, and he will become glorious. In war, he will accomplish tremendous feats, which makes one's hair stand on end, thus causing the destruction of Ravana and the pleasure of Ram. After this, the gods departed, and Vayu took Hanuman back to his mother. He began to grow up like a god, overflowing with the exaltation of his own power, and being possessed of the mischievous nature of monkeys, he started creating trouble for the rishis in the forest, knowing that they could never harm him. He would playfully throw about and break their sacrificial ladles and vessels, and tear to shreds the piles of soft bark they kept for making garments. Despite the efforts of his mother and father to check him, Hanuman continued with his pranks and went on harassing the Munis. Eventually, the ascetics, not wanting to harm the playful young Vanara, found a way to stop him. Touching the sacred water, their leader uttered an imprecation. As this one makes trouble for us, depending upon his celestial strength, he shall forget his own power, and only when someone reminds him again by reciting his glories shall he recall his strength. Bewildered by the curse, Hanuman forgot about his might and began acting like an ordinary Vanara. He formed a strong relationship with Sugriva, going with him into exile when he was banished by Vali. He finally again remembered his power when Jambavan reminded him at the time of searching for Mother Sita. After renouncing the world, poet-sage Tulsidas spent most of his time at Varanasi, Prayag, Ayutthaya, and Chitrakoot, but visited many other far-off places. He traveled across India, studying different people, meeting saints and sadhus, and meditating. Tulsidas hints in several places in his works that he met face-to-face with both Hanuman and Ram. On his return to the city, he used to offer the remaining water to a certain tree. This quenched the thirst of a preta, a type of ghost believed to be ever thirsty, who appeared to Tulsidas and offered him a boon. Tulsidas said he wished to see Ram with his own eyes, to which the preta responded that it was beyond him. However, the preta said that he could guide Tulsidas to Hanuman, who could grant the boon he asked for. The preta told Tulsidas that Hanuman comes every day disguised in the attire of a leper to listen to his katha. He is the first to arrive and the last to leave. That evening, Tulsidas noted that the first listener to his discourse was an old leper who sat at the end of the gathering. After the katha was over, Tulsidas quietly followed the leper into the woods. He then firmly fell at the leper's feet, shouting, "I know who you are, and you cannot escape me." At first the leper feigned ignorance, but Tulsidas did not relent. Then the leper revealed his original form of Hanuman and blessed him. When granted a boon, Tulsidas told Hanuman he wanted to see Ram face to face. Hanuman told him to go to Chitrakoot, where he would see Ram with his own eyes. The great sage followed the instruction of Hanuman and started living in an ashram in Chitrakoot. One day he saw two princes, one dark and the other fair, dressed in green robes, pass by mounted on horseback. Tulsidas was enraptured at the sight. However, he could not recognize them and soon took his eyes off of them. Later, Hanuman asked Tulsidas if he saw Ram and his brother Lakshman on the horses. Tulsidas was disappointed and repentful. Hanuman assured Tulsidas that he would have the sight of Ram once again the next morning. The great poet later recalled this incident in a song in his Gitavali, in which he laments how his eyes turned to become his own enemies by staying fixed to the ground. Fortunately, Rama again appeared to Tulsidas, this time as a child. The great Pundit was making sandalwood paste when a child came and asked for a tilak. This time, however, Hanuman had given a hint to Tulsidas, and thus he had a full darshan of Lord Ram. Tulsidas was so charmed that he forgot all about the sandalwood. Ram then took the paste and put a tilak upon himself and Tulsidas before disappearing. Lord Hanuman is often portrayed kneeling with joined palms before the personality of Godhead, Ramachandra, Sita, and Lakshman. Hanuman is shown sometimes tearing open his chest to show Ram's image in his heart. Other times, soaring through the sky with a Himalayan peak in his hand. He is shown long-haired and occasionally five-headed. His hands are often seen in the gesture of mudra for removing fear and giving benedictions. He is sometimes shown carrying a club, a bow, or a thunderbolt. Over time, Hanuman has acquired a following not only of Vaishnavas, but among those one might least expect, such as wrestlers who call him the mighty one with limbs like thunderbolts, and Muslims, to whom he is known as the reliable helper. In the Ramayana, Hanuman first appears in the beginning of the 4th book. Here, Hanuman is one of 5 emissaries sent by the monkey king Sugriva to discover the identity and intentions of Lord Ram and Lakshman. Towards the close of this piece, however, Hanuman dominates the stage, his speed, strength, wisdom, courage, and devotion becoming evident. Regarding Hanuman's monkey nature, he was indeed very much a monkey. Valmiki uses the word kapi, or tawny-colored, and vanara, a word originally meaning proper to the forest. Hanuman often displayed the monkey-like qualities typical of his descendants. By his own admission, as cited in the Ramayana, he has a monkey's unending fickleness and inability to remain still even for a moment. Yet Hanuman's monkey nature is a gift from the Lord, and any resulting characteristic that might otherwise appear to discredit him is actually a divine arrangement for his devotional service to Lord Ram. In Treta Yuga, hundreds of thousands of years ago, such monkeys were more like human beings. Valmiki makes this clear when he writes about their speech, clothing, dwelling places, consecration festivals, and so on. Hanuman and the Vanaras then were half monkey, half human, but they were unmistakably empowered semi-divine beings as well. They could take on any form at will, become large or small. They had all mystic yoga perfections in full. Further, Hanuman could leap into the air like a super-powered being. The Vedic scriptures, however, make it clear that Hanuman and the Vanaras are devotees, not gods. Hanuman is clearly a bhakta, a devotee, and Ram Bhagavan, the Lord. It is the glory of Hanuman that he serves Ram by going to find Sita, by bringing her Ram's message, by risking his very life at the hands of the evil demon Ravana. Indeed, the entire Ramayana offers tribute to his unswerving devotion to Lord Ram. The Mahabharata notes the immortal Hanuman lives in the Himalayas to this very day, chanting the name of Lord Ram in perfect ecstasy. Benefits of reciting the Hanuman Chalisa. Hanumanji is the greatest devotee of Sri Ram and is an incarnation of the mighty Lord Shiva. He is therefore the epitome of ultimate devotion manifested with its full glory, unparalleled and unchallenged in all times and places. By the very power of his devotion to Sita Ram, he has easily achieved the supreme status as the perfect devotee and servitor. Lord Hanuman is the link between the devotees and God. For on the Lord's behalf he serves, inspires, and protects his Lord's servants, and by worshipping him, devotees are blessed with all kinds of siddhis in life, including power, valor, prosperity, and so on. Ghosts, devils, and spirits never trouble a person who regularly recites the Hanuman Chalisa. Its recitation also helps small children to get rid of scary and fearful thoughts. Regular, attentive, devotional chanting of the Hanuman Chalisa increases a person's resilience, and he emerges victorious in every challenging situation. It likewise helps to overcome the difficulties one might encounter in getting a wish fulfilled. It is believed to dispel ghosts and spirits and ward off maladies such as fever and epilepsy. The Hanuman Chalisa is also used for attaining physical strength, stamina, and power. Likewise, it helps to quickly solve problems such as marital difficulties, debt problems, mental disturbances, and agony. The Hanuman Chalisa blesses one with the qualities of courage and confidence, thwarts the efforts of one's enemies, and ensures success, strengthens the immune system, and blesses one with a long life. By chanting this all-auspicious prayer daily, one becomes active and energetic and never experiences laziness in doing any sort of work. The Hanuman Chalisa is an ancient Vedic devotional hymn in praise of Lord Hanuman. It was transmitted to and authored by the great sage poet Tulsidas, and is perhaps his best-known text. The word Chalisa means the number 40, as the Hanuman Chalisa has 40 verses. Hanumanji, the divine monkey god, is a devotee of Sri Ram and one of the central characters in the well-known divine epic, the Ramayana. According to the Shivite tradition, Hanuman is also an incarnation of Shiva. The qualities of Hanuman, his strength, courage, wisdom, celibacy, and devotion to Lord Ram, and the many names by which he was known, are all detailed in the Hanuman Chalisa. Recitation of this holy hymn is an eternally auspicious practice. The Hanuman Chalisa is the most popular devotional poem in praise of Hanuman, and is recited by millions around the world every day. After cleansing the mirror of my mind with the dust of the holy Guru's lotus feet, I profess the pure, untainted glory of Sri Ramachandra, which bestows the fourfold fruits of life, namely Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Fully aware of the deficiency of my intelligence, I concentrate on Pavan Kumar and humbly ask for strength, intelligence, and true knowledge to relieve me of all blemishes causing pain to others. Victory to thee, O Hanuman! Ocean of wisdom, all hails to you, O Kapisha! Fountainhead of power, wisdom, and Shiva Shakti! You illumine all the three worlds with your glory. You are the divine messenger of Sri Ram, the repository of immeasurable strength known as the son of Pavan, wind, born of Anjani. With limbs as sturdy as Vajra, the mace of God Indra, you are valiant and brave. On you attends good sense and wisdom. You dispel the darkness of evil thoughts. Your physique is beautiful, golden-colored, and your dress is pretty. You wear earrings and have long curly hair. You carry in your hand a lightning bolt along with a victory flag and wear the sacred thread on your shoulder. As a descendant of Lord Sankar, you are a comfort and pride. With the luster of your vast sway, you are all over the universe. You are the repository of learning, virtuous and fully accomplished, always keen to carry out the behest of Sri Ram. You are an ardent listener, always so keen to listen to Sri Ram's life stories. Your heart is filled with what Sri Ram stood for. You therefore always dwell in the hearts of Sri Ram, Lakshman, and Sita. You appeared before Sita in a diminutive form and spoke to her in humility. You assumed an awesome form and struck terror by setting Lanka on fire. With overwhelming might you destroyed the Asuras and performed all tasks assigned to you by Sri Ram with great skill. You brought Sanjavan, the herb, and restored Lakshman back to life. Sri Ram cheerfully embraced you, his heart full of joy. Sri Raghupati Ram lustily extolled your excellence and said, "You are as dear to me as my own brother." Thousands of living beings are chanting hymns to your glories, saying thus, Sri Ram warmly hugged him, Sri Hanuman. When everyone honors you, like Sanka, Lord Brahma, Narada, Goddess Saraswati, and even Yamaraj, the god of death, Kuber, god of wealth, and the deputies guarding the four corners of the universe have been vying with one another in offering homage to your glories. How then can a mere poet give adequate expression to your super excellence? You rendered a great service to Sugriva. You united him with Sri Ram, and he installed him upon the royal throne. By heeding your advice, he became the Lord of Lanka. This is known all over the universe. On your own, you dashed upon the sun, which is at a fabulous distance, thousands of miles, thinking it to be a sweet, luscious fruit. All comforts of the world lie at your feet. The devotees enjoy divine pleasures and feel fearless under your benign protection. You alone are befitted to carry your own splendid valor. All the three worlds, the entire universe, tremble at your thunderous call. All the ghosts, demons, and evil forces keep away with the sheer mention of your great name, O Mahavir. All diseases, pain, and suffering disappear upon reciting regularly Sri Hanuman's holy name. Those who remember Sri Hanuman in thought, word, and deed, with sincerity and faith, are rescued from all troubles in life. All who hail, worship, and have faith in Sri Ram as the Supreme Lord of all penance, you make all their difficult tasks easy. Whosoever comes to you for fulfillment of any desire with faith and sincerity, will he alone secure the immeasurable fruit of human life. All through the 4 ages, your magnificent glory is acclaimed far and wide. Your fame is radiantly acclaimed all over the cosmos. You are the Savior and the guardian angel of saints and sages, and you destroy all demons. You are the angelic darling of Sri Ram. You can grant to anyone any yogic power of the 8 cities, power to become light and heavy at will, and 9 nidhis, riches, comfort, power, prestige, fame, and sweet relationships, etc. This boon has been conferred upon you by Mother Janaki. You possess the power of devotion to Sri Ram. In all births, you will always remain Sri Ram's most dedicated disciple. Through hymns sung in devotion to you, one can find Sri Ram and become free from sufferings of many births. If, at the time of death, one enters the divine abode of Sri Ram, thereafter, in all future births, he is born as the Lord's devotee. One need not entertain any other deity, for devotion to Sri Hanuman alone can give all happiness. One is freed from all sufferings and ill-fated contingencies of rebirth in this world if one adores and remembers Sri Hanuman. Hail, 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 Sri Hanuman, Lord of the senses. Let your victory over evil be firm and final. Bless me in the capacity as my supreme guru. One who recites the Hanuman Chalisa 100 times becomes free from the bondage of life and death and enjoys the highest bliss at last. All those who recite the Hanuman Chalisa regularly are sure to be benedicted. Such is the evidence of no less a witness than Bhagavan Sankar. Tulsidas, as a bonded slave to the Divine Master, stays perpetually at his lotus feet and prays, O Lord, you are enshrined forever within my heart and soul. O conqueror of the wind, destroyer of all miseries, you are a symbol of auspiciousness. Along with Sri Ram, Lakshman, and Sita, please forever reside in my heart. O King of all gods, O Hanuman.
Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nij Manu Mukur Sudhari Barnau Raghubar Bimal Jas Jodayako Palchari Buddhihina Tanu Janige Sumira Bhavan Kumar बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान
मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी, द्रव सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
मंगल भवन अमंगल द्रव सुदशरथ अजिर बिहार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजय, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बढ़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाँ ते, कवि को विद कहीं सके कहाँ ते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना, राम मिलाए राजपद दीन्हा।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्योता ही मधुर फल जानू।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
प्रभु मुद्रिका मेरी मुख मागी, जल दिलांग गए अजरज नागी। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम रेते ते।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, हो तन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुमरे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
तुमरे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटै मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलवीरा।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहूँ गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा।
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, जब सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
हरता जय जय हनुमंता, दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता।
पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप सियावर।
की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। राधे 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 बोलो, राधे गोविंद बोलो। 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 राधे 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 बोलो, राधे गोविंद बोलो।
Oh, deep blue Lord of my heart, show me your unmasked face, shining like 1,000 suns in an empty sky. Oh, ragged soul, unleash me from the body, free me from mind, release me from the iron grip of the senses, banish me forever from this weary world. Dear Redeemer, I bow to you by the reedy river, see you in the trees, gather you in the harvest, breathe you in the morning breeze. Soul shaker, shake loose my pride, turn me upside down, drown me in your foaming tide. Lord Shri Krishna, smiling cowherd of Vrindavan, allow me entrance into your abode, but only as a speck of dust along your road, or a feather fallen from your proud peacocks, a drop of water in your ocean. Nothing grand may I be, but grand enough to live with thee.
राधे 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 बोलो, राधे गोविंद बोलो। राधे 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 बोलो, राधे गोविंद बोलो। Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jagannatha Das, A Brief Life Sketch. You Will Go Back to Godhead, Srila Prabhupada to Jagannatha Das, Summer 1971. My blessings to you for your work. Ramdas, 1973. I'm really behind what you're doing. More power to you. Timothy Leary, 1995. Jagannath really knows how to get a project done well. Mukunda Das Goswami, 1995. Born on September 11, 1953 in Rochester, New York, Jagannath grew up in the 1960s, an enthusiastic hippie of the highest order. Traveling around the world on his own from the age of just 13, touching down at such celebrated counterculture hotspots as Haight-Ashbury, Woodstock, the Isle of Wight, swinging London, and the East Village, Dasa was sold on the apparent virtue of the peace and love philosophy of the counterculture. In 1970, he became interested in the science of devotional yoga, or bhakti, and spent many years drifting between a life of discipline and meditation to the outer limits of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. In November of 1972, he met his wife, Brenda Black, at a community college in Tampa, Florida. She later took the initiated name Vrindarani Devi Dasi. Forsaking drugs and meat in the mid-70s, Jagannath became a well-known figure in the Ybor City art scene in Tampa, and later tucked himself away for 5 years in the wilds of western New York State, writing poetry, having babies, and solidifying his growing mindset to not only try and live the one-pointed life of a bhakti yogi, but impart the dynamic art to others. In 1980, he met His Divine Grace Bhakti Hirde Mangal Niloy Goswami Maharaj in Toronto, and along with his wife took initiation into the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu some 2 years later. Their new respective spiritual names were Jagannath Das and Vrindarani Devi. In between this landmark, the couple met and/or studied the teachings of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Baba Ram Das, Timothy Leary, and Paramahansa Yogananda. Gradually, the day-to-day reality of having to provide for a growing family, coupled with the highly artistic, contemplative nature of his work, ultimately convinced Jagannath to make a firm decision to follow the path of Gaudiya Vaishnavism to its logical conclusion. One of the early highlights for sometimes actor Jagannath was his portrayal of the marvelous magical Burger King and Ronald McDonald for the respective hamburger conglomerates, a strange turn for the confirmed ethical lacto-vegetarian. But Das, who had been acting professionally from the age of 12, considered the offbeat assignment simply another theatrical opportunity. Traveling throughout New England in the summer of 1978 with the top-drawer Burger King Roadshow, he experienced something very close to old-time vaudeville, appearing in tiny towns all around the Cape. In 1980, he was chosen from over 400 actors to play the part of Ronald McDonald for Canada. It was to be the official beginning of his grown-up career. Moving his family to the ethnic suburbs of Scarborough, Ontario, he stayed with McDonald's of Canada for exactly 1 year, and then left in disgust after witnessing what he considered to be the purposeful manipulation of children via the McDonald's advertising juggernaut. Further, as a person of conscience, the idea of promoting meat eating to thousands of innocent young minds was not only repugnant, but karmically frightening. In the spring of 1984, Jagannath, desperate for a job, looked in the yellow pages under P for publisher, rang the first one he saw, and was offered a 3-country publishing deal for his first book, The Beatles: A Celebration, that very afternoon. It was to be a major turning point. After moving back to Niagara County, New York in 1986, Jagannath and Vrinda established the new Navadvip Vaishnava community in 1993 on 12-plus acres along the pastoral banks of the Erie Canal in Lockport. Legally incorporated in September of 1996 under the name of Shri, the Spiritual Realization Institute, the ambitious project was an international resource for those interested in the Vedic arts and sciences, as well as a fully functioning educational and cultural institution. Perhaps the greatest personal challenge met by Das was his solitary trek to India on pilgrimage in May of 1996. Landing in Delhi in the early morning, he braved the rigors of the accident-strewn Agra Road, ending up in the holy township of Vrindavan, the place of Sri Krishna's transcendental pastimes some 5,000 years ago. From there he journeyed north from Delhi to Hardwar, where he bathed in the holy Ganges for the first time, before moving on to the peaceful village of Rishikesh in the foothills of the Himalayas. Asked to describe the most meaningful thing about his first trip to India, he had this to say: "I used to lie in my bed in the ashram in Vrindavan, listening to the sounds of the early morning. All at once I could hear peacocks crying, bells ringing, beating drums, monks chanting, people laughing, and the clatter of horses' hooves on the cobblestones. In Vrindavan, the flowers bloom very early before daylight, so the air is filled with the perfume of flowering trees and plants of every description. I remember getting up at dawn once and watching a little barefoot girl of about 5 or 6 walking under the shaded canopy of the towering trees which lined Raman Reddy. Coming to a rather ordinary-looking oak, she reached up, touched it gently with her right hand, and then put her fingers to her forehead. She then bowed down in the red dust in front of the ancient tree. It was a wonderful, inexplicable, unimaginable event, until I realized that in India, the trees, the rivers, the mountains, the animals, everything, even a tree is holy. While in America, very little but the almighty dollar was." By 2020, Jagannatha Das has penned over 40 internationally best-selling biographies, published in over 15 languages, including Japanese, German, Italian, Dutch, and Spanish. In addition, following a chance encounter in 1995 with West Coast music company CEO Michael McLean of Delta Music in Santa Monica, California, Jagannatha signed on to produce a series of spoken word CDs and cassettes. 1,000 audiobooks later, he's still at it. Today, Jagannatha is a popular writer, producer, and narrator of audiobooks internationally, even starting his own company, Icon Audio Arts, in the early 2000s. Although his wife passed away unexpectedly in 2017, Jagannatha remains true to the Vaishnava culture which both of them dedicated their lives. This, then, is a little bit about Jagannatha Das. Hari Om Tat Sat.
We hope you've enjoyed this Inner Lion Media presentation. Inner Lion Media. Thank you for listening.